What's good, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Land Grant Podcast Network's I-80 football show. As always, I'm your host, Jordan. I'm here with my co-host, Dante.
Yes, sir, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. As you know, I didn't realize today was Wednesday until like middle of the day. I
Yeah,
was chilling. Not
I
really 'cause I
knew.
was at work, but I
Right.
was chilling. And I'm like, I look up, I said, I have a dentist appointment on Thursday. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. That makes
Mm-hmm.
today. I was like, oh
Wednesday.
my God,
Yeah.
I ain't thought about this podcast all week. And I told you I was gonna have an idea too. I had to come up with it off the strength because we was gonna be here talking about nothing. I was just
Mm-hmm.
like,
I knew it was Wednesday all day because I'm like, it's almost the end of the week. Let's go. Like this week's kind of flying by. I'll take it. I'll
yeah,
take it.
yeah. I mean, it is because I didn't realize it was Wednesday, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also just like it's cold outside, so it's kind of messing up
A
everything.
little bit, yeah. A little
It's just
bit.
kind of I don't know. It doesn't feel like we're 9 days into April. Like I know you have like false spring and like all of that sort of stuff, but like it's like 30 degrees. Like it's not typically this cold.
Mm-hmm. I'm watching like a week or two. It's about to go. Pew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The reason why I'm excited because I get paid. Was it Tuesday next week? That's why I'm like, let's get this week over with.
You get paid on the 1st and the 15th or something?
15th in the end of the month.
Oh, that's how it was when I was in Columbus. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got to get the money back for buying this, paying for this motherfucker. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's crazy. I actually liked being paid on the fifth, the like twice a month. Twice a month was cool because I don't like biweekly because it makes it hard to budget
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes it messes it up. And it's like if you start in a good financial place and if you make enough money where it's just like half my paycheck, half of both paycheck goes to rent, it goes to this, whatever, and you start like paying stuff ahead, it doesn't matter. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're not paying stuff ahead, it's like, oh, this bill comes out on the 18th of every month. This month I get paid on the 17th, but next month I get paid on the 11th, and the month after that I don't get paid to the 25th. And so you always have to remember what bills you're paying on what check. So
Yep.
I don't like bi-monthly. I hate month. I don't like bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly. Yeah.
I hate monthly because by the middle of the month I don't have no money. But twice a month was perfect, especially because I was before inflation. I was making enough money to like cover my bills, no worry. So I
Mm-hmm.
just literally put my half my bills on the first, half my bills on the 15th, had them on auto pay, and it was smooth. And then like I would have a little bit of money left over, so like I never had to think about my bills or anything because I just put them first, 15th, whatever. It was 15th in the end of the month, but I just put the bills on the first and the 15th. And so that was smooth. I miss it, low
I'm
key.
not gonna lie. I was after because I was doing monthly for about 2 years. After like the first year, I got used to doing monthly. It got to a point where I would have extra money, and then when my paycheck would come, it just stacked. It was just stacking. So I got used to monthly. Now that I'm bi-monthly, I had to move my car insurance payment
Mm,
because it's on auto pay because it keeps it's a deduct if you have it on auto pay.
yeah,
So I had to move that date to the 15th. I was like, legit, make it the 15th, and they was like, okay. So now that's on that day. I'll probably do my phone bill that day as well, and then rent and everything else is end of the month because right at the end of the month is the first. So I
right.
just pay rent and stuff like and others. Do I have other bills? I mean, I do. I just don't know what they are. I just pay them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
but phone bill and car insurance are going to be the first from now. Not the first, the 15th from now on.
yeah. That's how I like it. My thing is, I think like if and it's great. Like I'm not gonna get stuck on this, but
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I had more money in Columbus, especially like
Oh, you
2020
probably
to
did because
twenty twenty one.
you didn't live in New York.
Yeah, but especially like even before, because like I don't know, I wouldn't have I wouldn't have much money in Columbus right now, anyways, because of inflation. But like
Yeah,
before that hit real crazy, I would have money. So like right now, because of inflation and living in New York, I don't have excess money after I get paid a whole lot. So that's what makes it a problem. I think if inflation went down or I was making more money, then because I don't really spend a lot of money in general, so I could see monthly being cool. But I think you have to live in a place where like your bills are not a certain percentage of your paycheck or
yeah.
like inflation and stuff. Because that's the problem. It's like I'll have money after I get paid, but then like a week or so in, I have to buy groceries again.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go out to the bar one time, and now by the 13th, I ain't got no money. Like it's like, damn,
Yeah,
all I did was buy a couple drinks and go get groceries. Now I'm ass out for 2 weeks.
I do have to get groceries because it's gotten this these past few weeks I've been eating out way too much,
Mm.
and I know, and I've been feeling it too because I like what was it yesterday? Yesterday I did nothing but cardio, but I felt so sluggish, and I was like, it's this eating out. Even if it is Subway, most of the time, I still felt sluggish as hell. So I was like, yeah, I got to figure this out. We gotta cook some more.
Yeah, that's honestly is it's crazy because like I eat healthy, but not like crazy healthy. Like sometimes
Yeah,
I'll be forget have a vessel or something like that. But it's crazy the difference, even if you're cooking, but you're not like vegetarian, vegan. Like I'm eating, 2/3 of my plate green. It's still different how much better you feel when you're cooking versus when you eat out. Even if
yeah.
you're not eating the most healthy food, it's just like
It
you
just feels
definitely feel
better.
a big difference. Um, but yeah, we're here. We're gonna get into our traffic update. Did you see? Did you see the LeBron Kendall?
I scrolled past it on Instagram for a second. Um, I have no words. It's,
I want it. It's a collector's item. I'm getting it for sure.
I mean, hey, I can't even say nothing. I have two Kobe Bryant tattoos, so I have nothing. I can't say nothing.
Yeah. I also it's just like it is cool. Like I mean, it's cool. Like I'm not like I don't know. I feel like it's like the same thing as getting Funko Pops for real,
I
except it's
mean, yeah, no, yeah, it is, it is. I just
yeah.
find it hilarious that they gave him a gift.
Yeah. It's dope though. I fuck with it. I'm definitely getting it. And if if it doesn't like sell out like crazy, because I'm not buying two at the beginning, but if it doesn't sell out like crazy, I might get a second one
I wonder how much it
because
is.
I don't. It's not that much. I
Really?
think when I looked at it, it was like less than 60. Which like new Funko Pops be coming out at $50. I don't be getting those, but like again, it's for me, it's like a collector's item. But like, I would if it doesn't sell out like crazy, if it's something that they're gonna have, I would buy one, and then later on I'd buy a second one because I do think it would be cool for like when I have kids for them to have one. But like if I only have one, you can't have that.
You can't touch it. Yeah.
But like if I have two, then it's like here's a toy. Let me teach you about our glorious king. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. That's weird. That's just funny though. But yeah, I got got to teach them about LeBron early. So get him a little Brian Kendall. It seems like it's a thing that they were going to be doing though, like a series. So I'm
Oh,
interested
so
to
it's gonna
see
be
who
more than
comes
just
next. Yeah, like
probably KD.
what? So the thing is, I don't know if it's only going to be athletes though. I think it's like like it's not male empowerment thing. What is it? I don't know how to explain it. I read it in an article. I don't know if it's only going to be athletes, but it's going to be like for example, if like if Chadwick Boseman was still alive, like I could see him getting one. You know what I mean?
They
Like
might still do it regardless.
right. What if his family signs? I think it's just
Mhm.
like I don't know how to explain it, but I don't think it's specifically geared towards athletes.
Okay. Because I would have been like, if they're doing, I thought it was like a basketball thing. Because then I would have been like, probably KD, maybe Giannis. Um, I should probably say a white guy, huh?
So one of those.
Uh,
Oh, it's $75. I will only be getting
oof.
one. I'm still
Yeah.
gonna get it, but I will only be getting one.
I mean, that's because I think his Funko Pop is like $100 and something dollars. LeBron
Is it?
James. I think so. The last time I was looking at Funko Pops because I always just to check to see how much a Kobe Bryant one is. That's never going down. So
No, it's not.
yeah.
So okay, so it's the Barbie signature Ken Bassiter collection. Celebrates influential Ken figures who are creating positive change and contributing to a better world for all.
Oh, so there might be a few more athletes.
Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't
It's
seem like
not.
it's
It's
specific
yeah,
athletes. Like it could
yeah.
be anybody.
We might get a Denzel Washington Kindle.
I'm gonna get that one too.
That one I might get. I mean,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'm gonna get that one too.
like, why you gotta?
$75.
$75 is crazy though.
I mean, it's cool. I'm gonna get it. I'm not.
But here I am talking shit like I'm not gonna get a WWE Universal Championship belt one of these days, and those are like $500 something.
Ooh, I'm not gonna judge you, but I can't rock. I can't do that one.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm judging me. Don't worry, I got it.
It's cool. It's cool. Got you.
Yeah.
Speaking of championship belts or championships, UConn won
Yep.
the women's college basketball national championship, put belt to ass on South Carolina. South Carolina is going to be
crazy.
South Carolina is going to be back for sure. And so, like, the crazy thing about it too is, like, I watched.
They always back. They're always one of the
teams. They're going to be solid. The thing is, like, they were young, right? So it's just like they were missing some of the leadership, and they were missing like the go-to player, and also like. They still got to the national championship game, so they were still really good. But like UConn was just clearly the best team in the sport, and their big three was clicking at the best time. I think the craziest thing about it is I was watching the game, and it didn't feel like South Carolina played bad. They just got outplayed.
They were just,
and they had played bad in other games, but like they didn't go through a whole bout of where they were taking bad shots. Like one game I was watching, they had like four travel calls and like a 3 minute of game time span. They did turn the ball over.
They calling travel? That was crazy.
It was one region, bro. It was one region. Every game I watched, calling hella travels. It was insane. And I'm like, it was so bad that I recognized the ref. I was like, oh, so this isn't the same region. This isn't like all of women's college basketball. Like this game site, y'all calling hella travels. Yeah. I don't know what y'all was doing out there in Salt Lake or wherever y'all was at. Wherever South Carolina was at,
they probably got tired of watching them players just walk. I was like, I'm calling this. We're calling this.
They were calling everything. It was South Carolina, UCLA, like it was all them up in that region. They was getting calls like crazy. And then they went to the Final Four and they didn't barely call it because nobody else is calling travels. It's just one crew. One crew was like, yeah, we getting them today. Like
we getting them. I'm doing my job. Like I ain't mad at it. I ain't gonna lie because I've gotten tired of watching travel.
Yeah,
bring them to the NBA.
Look, the biggest one that they could call all the time that they was calling all the time is moving that foot before you dribble. Because that happens it happens almost every time. Like that pivot foot be moved. You got the ball has to touch the ground first. Like it do have to.
They
touch
take
the
off
first.
like this. He's like,
yeah. That's what they were doing. It was So
that's fundamentals though. It's basic fundamentals like that too.
But when nobody's calling it, you're not practicing that no more.
Oh well.
Yeah. But
be on your P's and Q's is what they said.
Basically. But yeah, I was very happy for Paige Beckers. It's one of them things where it's like she didn't really need a championship, but she kind of needed a championship. Like for her to be as good as she was, especially at UConn and all the things, to like be the only, like she was going to be the only superstar out of UConn that never won. Like I was very happy that she got one, and so that was cool. And then Florida, which I do not care about men's college basketball, but I did watch this game because it was just on the TV and I was playing the game. Florida beat Houston, and the only thing I have to say, I have two things to say. One, I really just don't like men's college basketball because there was a 12-point turnaround for a win, and I still thought the game was boring. I'm just like that. Like that's the best you could offer. Like you were down 12 in the third, and you came back to win the game, and I was just like, stop throwing up these strong ass hook shots, bro. Like why your hook shot about to bend the rim? You got no finesse, no touch. All the shots are flat. Like damn, what is going on? Like
I was even, so I didn't watch any of these games, but I did see the ending to the Florida Houston game, and it was just. Wow.
How you don't get a shout out, bro? It was just so, like men's college basketball.
Wow. If anything, and it was like he knew he traveled and he was like, I can't touch the ball, y'all.
Yeah, and
like,
they just looked at him.
They all looked at him.
I was in the air. I was in the
air with the ball. I can't touch this.
Yeah.
And everybody just looked at him and looked at the ball. Incredible. I've seen that happen so many times. It is just funny that it happened in a championship game.
Yeah. And it's just So
and I'm sure Florida of all teams,
right, with their 39-year-old head coach. But yeah, I really I don't like it, dog. I just don't like it. I don't know what it is. I was watching the game and it's just like, but seriously, it's like, why are your hook shots so strong? Like nobody had touch. Like nobody had touch. It didn't look like any of them had any skill. They were just like all their shots were flat. It was just like I'm like, what are y'all like? What game are y'all playing? Like the
It was
NBA
already
doesn't look like this. Like y'all want to go to the NBA. What like are
what
y'all
is
playing the same sport?
not really, and it's bad because what was it? The fact that Duke blew what a 7-8 point lead in a minute.
Yeah. Against the
Like,
same team. Florida just I don't know, dog. They playing the
just
game on Hall of Fame or something. I don't know why
something
they
because I don't understand it. I didn't get it. But again, I just watched Milwaukee carve off 24-point lead in like 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. They were down 24 points against Minnesota. Minnesota didn't score a bucket for 5 minutes.
Jesus.
And they tied the game, and then Minnesota decided to score. Almost like I would have gave up. Y'all cut into a 24-point lead with minutes to go into the fourth. You won
it.
You won.
No more.
I don't care no more because we can't get nothing. And like when I tell you, like it wasn't like they were missing shots. It was turnover after turnover after turnover. Like Milwaukee just kept stealing the ball. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. I would have been done.
Either you win or we fighting, bro. I don't care no more.
Yeah. Congratulations to Florida. Congratulations to UConn. There's only one name I know going into college basketball next year, and I hopefully she gets better soon. So,
what?
USC. What's her name?
Oh,
Juju.
Yeah,
Juju. Yeah. That's the only name I know going into college basketball next year. Because there was Cooper Flag, Page, and Juju this year, and now it's just Juju for me. That's all I know.
You should learn Sarah Strong. You'll like her game.
Okay.
That's the freshman on UConn.
Okay.
You'll like her game. She's really good. She's a big too. I know you like bigs. I mean, not like, but like she's a big with skill. She's nice.
To say. She got a back to the basket game.
Yeah, she do.
Okay.
She do.
I'll have to look into it.
And she can shoot the three, but she don't live at the three. Like she's not one of them. Like she will get in the paint and body you. Good defense. Like she's really good. She's nice. So in the Ohio State media escape or whatever you call it, two Buckeye beat writers, as much as you can call someone famous, but just for the lack of the better word, like famous Buckeye beat writers got fired from their company for allegedly skimming money off the top.
What?
So I don't want to get stuck on this, especially because it's crazy because they had two jobs. Like they wrote for a website, and then there was this other one called The Podcast, and that was just podcast. And so they got fired from the podcast company, but they write still for the website. But it's funny because some of the people, like there are people who work at both, who still work at both. So it's like you fired me from one, but since it was just crazy because like
I get to still work here.
Yeah, because it's like you didn't you stole money. Like we got two companies together. You stole money from company A, but I can't fire you from company B because they're not the same company. So you just got fired, but you better come to work.
But in my eyes, it's weird because in my eyes, it's like if you steal from company A,
right,
you're probably stealing from company B too. But I guess when it comes to stuff like that, you have to have proof because then they can sue you and stuff like that for like. But like.
Yeah, so I won't get into all the rumors because there's a lot of rumors. But what it sounds like they've at least admitted to is that they were brokering sponsorships with people. And they were skimming money off the top of the sponsorship. People were saying that they're people were like saying that they're like stealing money from the players and things like that. And so I'm going to give you two scenarios because I think one is what people think, and this is what I think actually happened. So people were saying like, I, Jordan, promise you $25,000, but then I only pay you $5,000. So that's what people were saying. I don't think that's what's happened. I think company A, sponsorship A, was like, hey, here's $25,000, give it to players for sponsorships. And they said, we have $20,000 to give to players for sponsorships. Like I think they were paying the players, but they weren't giving
Given the
all
full
the
amount
money.
that they were supposed
So
to.
like it's two things where it's like they're not breaching contracts with players. The player pool is just less than what it was supposed to be. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm not a
It's still
legal expert.
stealing.
It is, but a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, you're stealing from Buckeyes. You're stealing from like you promised Caleb Downs 25,000 and only gave him 5." And for sports fans, that's much more egregious than like you took some money off the top. It's still stealing. They still got fired, but either way, again, as far as the Buckeye space goes, they're famous and they're some of the more sourced whatever. And so it's
Mhm.
like, are you stealing?
Yeah, more than
Why
likely.
would you do that? Like, what do you like? What did you
What do
expect to
you
get
gain?
from that?
What do you
And
gain?
like,
I guess
nobody's gonna
money,
want.
but like
Yeah,
eventually it's gonna get caught because like the thing with that is that there's always accounting involved. So somebody's counting this money, and if you're not the accountant, even then, even if you are the accountant, you're more than likely gonna get caught. Eventually, you're gonna get caught. It always happens. This is
yeah.
so silly.
So like one of the things that it says, so Birmingham acknowledged in writing that defendants have, in fact, retained advertising funds or sponsorship funds that were positioned into the company as exclusively intended for compensation for athletes appearing on the show.
Mhm.
Specifically, Birmingham conceded in writing that advertisers paid Austin Ward, who, after paying the players that appeared on the show with us, paid 1/3 of the remaining amounts to himself, unnamed third party, and me. So, like, it again, it doesn't sound like they promised the players X money. It's that the company was like, "Hey, here's $25,000 for the players," and they was like, "Hey, players, we only got 20,000 for you," and was keeping the rest. Although it was obviously different numbers because a third of that is different. I should have used 30
Yeah,
because then it's like, "Here's $30,000 for the players," and there's like, "Players, we only got 20,000 for you,"
20,000. Yeah,
and then they pocketed the 10, which it's a minute difference, but it is technically a difference because it's you're not going into contract with Ohio State's best players and then not giving them money, which then may lead them to the transfer portal and like all these other things that may like actually
hmm
mess up Ohio State's roster, but
yeah,
you're still stealing.
yeah. Because you definitely are stealing.
Yeah, for shit show. So yeah, it's crazy that you would do that. Crazy that you would do that ever. But at Ohio State too, like there are just some schools like it's too big. Like if you did that, like Kent don't have no money, but if you did that at Kent, you might get away with it. You said from
Maybe
Ohio
I don't
State,
know. I
Bama,
don't know if they get
Georgia,
away with it because it's
Oregon.
small.
True.
Because they really need that money, and when they realize that they're not getting the amount they're supposed to, it might get caught faster. Honestly,
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Mhm.
And then they also said they was like, like we're paying them better than they were getting paid at their last job, and we're paying them better than most reporters get paid. So it's
Mhm.
like they didn't need the money. Was basically what the company said. And then on
Uh,
top of that, and
more
this is the
money,
last
more
thing,
money, more
yeah,
money.
and this is the last thing I say about it. Dude, like logged into his email to try to like find out what information they had and try to like cover things up and some other things. So it's like they did one lawsuit and then they amended it because they're like, we told you you were done and not to log in, and you logged into the company email and was trying to see what we had on you and like delete stuff. Now that's getting added to the lawsuit. Like that, like
Yeah,
that's worse. Like what do you like?
obstruction of it's not obstruction of justice, but
Yeah,
obstruction of investigation. Like you're an idiot.
yeah,
There's a lot of
basically.
idiots that work in the Big Ten. Like I don't,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
understand it, bro. Like just a
yeah.
lot of idiots working in this conference. Whew.
It's crazy.
Mm.
But yeah, so that happened. And then we'll because we'll take a break here and then we'll get back and we'll have a brief conversation about the final week of the NBA. And then we're going to get into our road trip, which is power ranking the Big Ten Conference in the spring, off the cuff, off the top of our head, just what we think is going to happen with no proof to back it up. So we will be right back on the other side of the ad break. All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome back. You know who's not welcome back? Mike Malone. He got
Yeah,
fired.
yeah.
Up out of there.
Makes
He
no
is no
sense.
longer welcome. He's
It don't
welcome
make
here. You
yeah.
can come here. You can listen. You can sponsor, but he is no longer
Sponsor.
welcome at his job.
It doesn't make any sense because again, like you said, this is the final week of the NBA, so the playoffs start in 2 weeks or a week, something like that.
And they're a playoff team, right? Like they're
Yes, they're
not
like
that
the
bad.
fifth seed, right? Fifth seed. They run a 4-game losing streak, and it's the crazy thing is that how whose fault this really is got fired because the GM got fired as well, which
Mhm.
is good because that's who fault this really is why this team is not performing up to where it should be, especially since we're still in Jokic's prime and Jokic's 28, I believe, something like that.
Something disgusting. If
Yeah,
Jokic loved basketball, we'd be in danger. But he's gonna retire at like 31. So
something like that. Yeah, he won't be playing this long probably. But like the problem was it was the GM because he was okay with letting key players just walk after winning that championship because they said he wanted to develop young talent to replace those players, and half the time, a lot of the time, that doesn't really add up. And what's happened the past 2 years is that hasn't add up. And the biggest problem with that too is that you knew that Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray, were injury prone
mhm.
before you won a championship, while you won a championship. So to let the key players who help you win a championship, who were not Aaron Gordon and Aaron Gordon, let me stop, but who was not Jamal Murray, people who took his place and were key in winning that, you let them walk for nothing, and that's the problem. So then so that being the problem, and then you're making Mike Malone have to coach these young players who he has no trust in because they're not earning his trust by not watching film. Because he said it, they don't
Mhm.
watch film. A lot of these players, a lot of those young players aren't watching film and they're not playing defense and they're not listening to him. So why should I play you when you're not doing what I asked? And they're like,
Right.
and I know how young people are. Well, I'm not doing what you're asked because you're not playing me.
It's like, well, that's dumb.
That's dumb. That's dumb. So they got rid of the coach. It's if you're gonna, I feel like I look at it like this: go to the playoffs, do your run, and then let them go. Don't let them go right before the playoffs and then have like a whole new coach.
Yeah, I think their thing is like, what if he does good? Then we can't fire him. But like, maybe you shouldn't fire him then.
He was
It,
already making the most out of this team, and
it
you
feels like,
handicapped him for real.
yeah, it sort of feels like the Tom Thibodeau or the who was the guy that was doing decent in like the Kings or something, where it's like you're a little old school, you're a little hard on the players. So the second it's not you're not winning 100 games, it's like, oh, but players don't like you. Yeah, but you didn't care that they didn't like me when I was winning when I was winning the championship.
Championship, yeah.
But now that I'm not, and I'm trying to get these players to keep the standard that you're paying me for, now I'm the asshole.
Mm-hmm.
He's
And
immediately gonna get a job. Like immediately
yeah,
gonna get a job. I don't know who's
yeah.
firing their coach, but he's immediately getting a job.
Well, I mean, who just fired the Grizzlies or whatever? Not the Grizzlies.
Oh yeah, I don't
Wasn't
know if he
it?
wants to go. I think he can't go to the Grizzlies. Him and Ja
But
gonna shoot him.
I don't know if it was the Grizzlies that just got rid of their coach or the
It
Timberwolves
was
that
it,
just got rid of it. Was
it
the
was it
Grizzlies.
was the Grizzlies, yeah, but
I
he
was
can't
like,
go there. Ja's gonna shoot him. Like Ja.
did you see? Did you see that he was like, all right, you're gonna find me. You're gonna find me for shooting, so I'm gonna
So
throw a
here's
grenade into the
he's,
stands. He went,
he's an idiot. He
I
is
love a
so
good troll, but
dumb.
I was like, bro, what?
He's an idiot.
I was like, a grenade is so much worse. Next thing you know, a celebration. He gonna get on one knee like it's a bazooka.
Literally. It's like, bro, what is wrong with you?
Like, why can't you stop? I do find it hilarious that everybody was like, why does other players get to do that celebration with the guns, but he can't? Because he's already got in trouble for actual gun stuff.
Yeah, and
That's
they're
why.
they're
Like,
also they
stop, don't be
are
stupid.
yeah. Other sports are trying to get rid of that, but like, bro has like he was pointing guns at teenagers. Like,
like that's why he's getting in trouble for that celebration, and like they
that's
really
like
don't want
being
it going.
why
They don't
can't
want it
Gilbert
anyway.
Arenas do that? What? Yeah, like there's a reason.
That'd be like if who I'm trying to think of. I can't think of his name.
Giants? Are you
OJ,
talking about
no,
football? Oh.
OJ Mayo. If he was like allowed back in the NBA and he came back and started doing like this,
Yeah,
it's like he didn't get in trouble for that. Like,
yeah.
like come on, dog. Come, use your brain.
It's like,
Everybody use your
yeah,
brain.
like a dude who got in trouble for, like, if Ray Rice came back to the NFL and then he started boxing when he scored a touchdown. Like, what do you mean? Like,
What are you doing? What are you
you
doing?
can't do that.
You
Like,
can't
you
do that.
can't.
Or
Yeah,
yeah, or even like it's again, Josh Gordon.
yeah.
He
If he
came
was
back and like, and then
like,
you like,
come on, bro.
what's going on? It's nothing up here. Like, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny. It is
Hey,
weird how Malone got fired though.
oh yeah,
They should have fired the GM. That I agree with.
yeah. Did you before we move on, did you see the picture of Jokic next to his brother?
Which one? Which brother?
I
He
don't
has
know.
two. Uh,
Did you see the one where they're sitting at a restaurant?
no, I think so.
All right, I'm gonna show
Maybe.
it to you. So people be laughing and kikiing when I'm saying that he plays basketball because his brothers are and the mob, and they're doing they're doing war crimes, and everyone thinks I'm joking, bro.
No,
I
they're
swear to
they
I'm not.
they
Dante, look
no
at that.
they.
For those on YouTube who can see this, for those of you not, I will just describe it. But for those of you on YouTube, so you can see this, Nikola Jokic is 6'11",
Yep.
285.
Yep.
And this picture looks like if I was next to the Big Show.
Yeah.
Is that a good? Is that a good comparison?
That
It's
might
close.
be a bit much.
Bit much.
Bit much, but his brother might be 7'1", and definitely like
350.
340. Yeah, like he definitely is.
Dude is huge. He is huge.
It's the
like,
mohawk that's got me
because he's
right
a criminal. He is a criminal. You ain't
a suburban with a mohawk. Yeah, you're a criminal.
Yeah, he is. He runs that country. Because who's gonna say something to him? Like, and that's why Nikola Jokic, the young brother, can play with horses and shit because his brother.
You know, it'd be funny as hell if they're like the sweetest guys.
They're not. They're not. I'm not judging them just off the look on his face, bro. They're not. I've seen how they reacted to when Jokic get fouled hard in the finals. They look like they
look.
kill
I'll look
everybody.
at it like this: if I could be one of the sweetest guys. If my
and still be
family
a criminal. Mm-hmm.
Not well, true, but like if my family getting messed with, I'm ready to buck.
Yeah,
I'm ready to buck. So I could. It's hilarious regardless.
So
the other one is just as tall.
Yeah, huge. Have you when's the last time you seen Shark Tales? I know this is crazy. So they just put on Shark Tales last night. Do you remember it enough to remember the two brother sharks?
Yes.
This is like the two brother sharks. like you got the big brother who's ready to take over the family, and you got the other one who's a vegetarian and is dressed like a dolphin.
That's funny.
Oh my god! If y'all haven't seen Shark Tales in a while, just Google the two Shark brothers, brother. It's hilarious. But no, I just thought that was funny though. Like, because Jokic is legitimately huge, and then his brother just like literally dwarfs him. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, do you have any thoughts? Or because you be watching basketball, I don't watch basketball to the playoffs. Do you have any thoughts on the final, on the fact that like 3 through 6 or 2 through 6 is like 1.5 games apart in the West? How are you feeling? How are you feeling about your Lakers? Just any basketball thoughts at this time?
Well, the West being close going into the end of the season is normal at this point. I expected. It's been happening for like the past 5-6 years. Yeah. How I feel about my Lakers, they might make it to the second round, and that might be it. 5-stream streak. I appreciate you. I could see the Lakers making it to the second round, but again, they're not consistent on defense. Whether I don't care how good they've been playing defense to end the year, they're not consistent. The only teams I see winning a championship out of everybody, OKC, Boston, Cleveland. Because while shooting can die out. Those are the only 3 teams that play defense. And the Cavs and OKC play historical defense, which usually wins you a championship. So those are the only 3 teams I can confidently say are going to win a championship. If any other team wins a championship, it's like people got hurt.
Yeah. If I don't really follow Cleveland sports all like that, but like if I had to pick a team, I'd be a Cavs fan because I'm from Ohio. If the Cavs win a championship and they do it without LeBron and it's their second ever, I may have to come home. I'm not going to the parade because that's insane.
Oh, I will. I missed the last one. I'll go.
I just want to be.
I will call off work and I'll literally text my bosses like, I'm going to the parade. And he better go. Got it.
The last parade was disgusting. I can't be around that many people, so I'm not gonna go to the parade. I just want to be around the vibe.
I went to work the last parade, so I'm
insane. I can't believe you did that. Well, I mean, I guess you're not really a Cavs fan, but you're from Cleveland, so it's like, yeah. All right, so that's the traffic.
Made some good money that day. I ain't gonna lie.
Did you?
Yeah.
That is the traffic update. So we are gonna get into our sort of blind power ranking of the Big Ten. We're doing this with no real information because it has been super silent, kind of really with spring ball. And then also not half, but a decent amount of the teams are like afraid of the transfer portal. So they don't want to release anything about players and they're not dropping tape and they're not having a spring game and all of these sort of things. Yeah. So this is just,
we're going to have a bunch of injuries and everybody comes like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah. This is a vibes based power ranking, but you know, it'll still be cool. It's still fun, and I think we're gonna be right because we're always right.
We're always right.
So do you want? We should start at the bottom. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
We can do that.
All right. So 18 for me is Purdue.
I have Northwestern.
17 is Northwestern for me.
And I have Purdue. Honestly, those are probably they're probably going to have the same record.
Yeah, our bottom
if they don't play each other, they're probably going to have the same record.
Yeah, our bottom 4 is the same. So let's just go there. Yeah. We have we have Purdue and Northwestern switch, but our bottom 4 is Purdue, Northwestern, Maryland, UCLA.
Yep.
I don't have any thoughts on that. How far Maryland has fallen, but I've never liked that coach, and so it makes sense that when he doesn't have the quarterback who is saving him,
the quarterback, and you're losing that. I don't know if they kept that running back. Because he was in his second year at this point.
Yeah, I don't think they have Roman Hemby no more either.
Yeah,
but it didn't matter because they didn't like to use him, so it's like
exactly. Yeah,
didn't matter. 13 for me is we're at 14. 14 is Wisconsin. I hate to say that because if Wisconsin is this bad, it might mean that may get fired. But I just don't think Luke Fickell is a good coach, and I do think he can coach at this level. But I don't think he understood what he was getting into in Wisconsin, and he just made bad coaching hires. And I said it from day one. It takes too much time to try to change the defense, and also yeah, you were at Cincinnati, but I'm sorry, at Cincinnati you can get better recruits than you can at Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I understand Wisconsin's in the Big Ten, but it's still Wisconsin. You're in Ohio. Do you know how many good players are in Ohio who don't get that Ohio State offer, who go to Cincinnati? First of all, Cincinnati is barely in Ohio. I was literally talking to someone at work the other day who's from Cincinnati who lives up here, and I was like, are you an Ohio State fan? I was like, because you didn't talk to me about the national championship at all. He's like, oh, no, I'm not really an Ohio State fan. Like Cincinnati and Toledo are like the only places in Ohio where you will consistently not find Ohio State fans. Even if they don't love Ohio State, where they're at least like me with the Cavs, there's sort of like a rooting interest. Like you may have some people that like Duke or whatever because they're from there or something, but like Cincinnati and Toledo are like the only places where you'll consistently just be like, yeah, I'm not an Ohio State fan, I don't care. And so Ohio State just won a national championship, and bro never mentioned it to me. He's from Ohio, so you have good players in Cincinnati. And that is not an automatic pipeline to Ohio State. You have all the players in Ohio. Like Cincinnati, football-wise, is the second best school in Ohio. So you're gonna get all those kids who don't want to go to Kent, who don't want to go to OU, because that is technically to them still a lower level than where Cincinnati is. So I think you can get better recruits at Cincinnati than you can Wisconsin. And so I don't think I get it's a bigger job. He was making more money, whatever. But I just think he handled it wrong. I think he handled it wrong, and it's kind of sucks because I think he's a good coach, but he messed up. at Wisconsin. You're not as low as on Wisconsin as me, so that was kind of my rant on the situation. But
Yeah,
that's where I feel about it.
yeah. I think even with all that, I think Wisconsin is still going to be. It can still be a better team than USC because I USC is losing more talent as the years go by. So you lost your quarterback and y'all couldn't really do anything with him. You had defensive talent and stuff like that decided to not play. You were in competitive in games, but I don't think that's going to really translate to next year. You probably I like I said, I look at USC as a Michigan State just over in the West now. So that's why I was like, I think Wisconsin could be better than these teams, but not by much, and that's why I have them a little bit higher.
Gotcha.
So
So who's your 14?
my 14 is Rutgers. I think they're going to take a dip this upcoming year, especially since I think a lot of teams in the Big Ten are going to get better, especially with the transfer portal and stuff like that. So in recruiting class, this freshman class coming in, I think Rutgers is not going to be as good as they were last year. They might, and look, I'll say this, and then teams will surprise me. So who knows? But my 14 is for Rutgers.
13 for me is Rutgers. So we're right in the same sort of spot. You're 13.
My 13 is Michigan State. I don't see them turning it around. Not this year to be higher than 13, 14. You muted me. I think because what was it? They got a coach and stuff like that, correct?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
My ranking for them is because I like the coach, basically.
Okay. But this is new year, new season for first season there for him, or second. I like the coach too.
I still think I may be a bit aggressive where mine is, but yeah.
I don't think it's this year they move up further than this. It'd be like next year or the year after. Because they have to bring in people.
Yeah.
And I know they're not bringing in anybody in the transfer portal of value, not of value, but of merit to have them move up for me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I have them higher. I think that my thing is just like they should have won more games, but their quarterback lost them as many games as he won them. And I just think if he's really seriously in the lab, he's going to get them a couple extra wins that maybe they shouldn't deserve because I think he's really good. Like, I don't think he's ever going to be like superstar first round pick. And maybe, but I do think he has that talent. I just think he makes way too many mistakes. But like, so that's why I have them higher. I'll talk about it when I get there. That was your 13. So we're at 12. Yeah. My 12 is Washington. I literally think Washington's going to be the same team as last year. Like they're going to be like a hard win. I mean, they're a Big Ten team. Like they're literally a Big Ten
team. They really
team.
Are.
It feels like they've been here the whole time. They're going to be a hard out. They may upset one of the teams that I have in the top, like 5, 6, 7, 8 or something like that. They're gonna give an Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, Illinois a hell of a game and lose it at the end, and then they're gonna be 5 and 7, 6 and 6, and just like they fought like hell. They made everything hard, but they just weren't good enough. And I think like 12 is sort of where that is, especially because in a given year, like the Big Ten can have between 9 to 12 teams in the postseason, and so this is the area where it's like this is where you're getting your 5 and 7, 6 and 6s, your borderline teams, and I think Washington is sort of right there.
I don't agree with that. I think they're more of a bowl eligible team. My 12 is USC. I think what you're saying about Washington is USC.
Fair.
I think USC is going to be 5 and 7. Again, you said about Wisconsin making the wrong type of coaching hires. USC literally did that.
Yes.
And if that still is the goal or that's still the framework there, I don't see it working again. Especially since again you lost your best defensive player because he definitely didn't play.
I don't even know who their best defensive player was. If you're talking about the defensive tackle,
Yeah,
Yeah, he quit third game. So
he quit third game.
yeah, I think he's
So
at a different Big Ten school. I don't
he
remember
got to
which
be.
one.
He had to have left.
I know he left for sure. I just think he stayed in the Big Ten.
Okay. I don't see USC bringing in talent. I could see USC bringing in talent. It's just offensive talent, and even then, that doesn't really help them because their biggest problem has been defense this entire time. Again, I think they're going to be competitive. Like you said, they're going to be a hard win. They gave Penn State a run for their money. They gave Oregon a little bit of a scare for a second. They're going to be a good team to watch, but I don't think they're winning 7 games.
Yeah, they're just going to be the same team as last year. Largely because their coach is an idiot. He's going to make a mistake. Secondly, because I don't think they have a good quarterback. And it's just, for me, it's like, I don't know when I'm going to pick USC to be good again because I watched what you did with Caleb Williams last year. And while no, I'm not the biggest fan of him, you took him from winning the Heisman to winning 6 games. And so it's just like, if you can win 6 games with Caleb, how you ever expect me to think you're going to be good? I'm sorry. Like, you have
how
to
you going to be better?
You have to prove it.
Yeah.
Like that for me, and you did that in the Pac-12. For me, that is your ceiling until you prove otherwise. Like, you won 6 or 7 games with Caleb in the Pac-12.
You were mediocre with a Heisman candidate in the Pac-12.
Number 1 pick. Like,
yeah. Like, I don't see you doing anything. That's why I can't move them any higher. I almost wanted to put them under Michigan State. It's just Michigan State has it's still his second year as that coach or at coaching there. So that's the only reason why USC got ahead. But I can't. They're not better than the next 4 teams that I have there.
I got you. So my 11 is Michigan. My thing is, like, 1, I still don't believe in Sharon Moore. 2, who's on their roster?
They got their quarterback.
He's a freshman.
Yeah, I know.
I don't believe.
But we've seen freshmen do amazing things on teams.
Yes, but I will never predict it.
Yeah, it's fair.
We've seen it, but I will never predict it.
That is fair.
Because like, if he had, let's say he has the same season as Dylan Raiola, that was a solid freshman season. They're gonna win 5 or 6 games, like Nebraska did. You know, like he has to have like one of them years, and I don't know that he's doing, especially because who's he throwing to? Like, you just have to, like, they didn't do anything in the transfer portal for real. Besides, and then you just count the players they lost. They lost Colston Loveland, the tight end. I think they lost a receiver. I wouldn't know his name, but I think they lost him. They lost both of their defensive tackles. They lost their star corner. That's 4 first-round picks. They had 4 first-round picks last year and won 7 games barely. Yes, they beat Ohio State. Like, they fought at the end. And so if you think, like,
they won a bowl game,
they're fighting, they're going to do it. Like, if that's what you believe, that they're going to get them there. But it's like, yeah, but they needed all that fight to get to 7 wins with 4 first-round picks. They don't have those.
Yeah. And I mean, they did win a bowl game as well. So,
yeah. So, like, I have them at 11. That's 6 and 6. Like, you know, like, maybe you get to 7. Like, it's not like I don't have 7. Them in the dredges. You know what I'm saying? But like, they're not going to be a good team.
They're going to sneak it because again, I don't know what their not their record, but their schedule is going to be. But if you got Purdue on your schedule, Rutgers, you face USC, and USC has to come to you, or even if you have to go to USC, it helps your team regardless whether you play USC, UCLA, things like that. Like, they could sneak out 7 wins, especially if somebody injuries and things like that. You never hope for those, but you know.
Well, so I'll run it down really quick. We won't do
because my 11 is Michigan too.
Ooh, man, I don't know what they're gonna do with this schedule. This schedule is hard. Not like hard. It's hard to predict. Mm-hmm. So they have New Mexico, Oklahoma, Central Michigan, Nebraska, first 4. They could beat both Oklahoma and Nebraska.
I was about to say
both. So I don't know.
I don't know. I don't trust Oklahoma.
No, I don't. But like, I don't trust
and I really don't trust Nebraska that much because.
So like, they could start 4-0.
Quarterback for Nebraska isn't his. I wish he had his own identity. I really do. I really do.
So yeah, so that they could start 4-0 or they could be 2-2. Then they play Wisconsin, USC, Washington, Michigan State. They could go 4-0 and be 8-0, or they could go 2-2 and be 4-4. Like, I don't like, these are all games like of teams that are in the same. Then they get Purdue, that's a win. Then they get Northwestern, that should be a win, but sometimes Northwestern, whatever. Then they play Maryland. That's a win. Then they
That
play
should be
Ohio State. That should be a loss. But you can't predict
You
that
never
no
know.
more.
You never know
Like you
how.
can't. So
You
like
really don't know
I
now.
genuinely have no idea what they're gonna do. I'm
Yeah.
literally just like I don't even want to predict it. I'm just like
They have
it's
crazy
just gonna
because
be
if this
a
was their
football
schedule
season.
last year, they could easily they could have win like 8-9 games.
Yeah. They still would have lost a couple because they had some
Oh,
holes and whatever, but
yeah, that's
like
what I'm
they
saying.
didn't
Like
have a
last year,
quarterback. But like
you could win like 8 or 9 games.
this
But
I don't know what the hell they're gonna do. Like I really don't. It's crazy. They also lost their running back. They lost
yeah,
both their
they've
running
lost
backs. So
both.
like I don't know who. There's no one on the team, but their schedule is like just a bunch of teams that are all like 75 in the video game, and it's just
Yeah,
like someone has to win.
They can win these games, and like again, I wouldn't be surprised if they start off the season. They're like the first 8 games. They're like 6-2, 5-3. I wouldn't be that surprised by that.
With this schedule, you can't be.
Yeah,
They don't play Penn State. They don't play Ohio State. Sorry, they always play. They don't play Penn State, Oregon, Illinois, Indiana, or Iowa, and those are the teams that no matter which order you're going to have at the top. The only team that they play that is like guaranteed to be good is Ohio State.
Yep.
And depending on how you feel about Ohio State, this is going to be one of the worst Ohio States because they've lost a lot of talent.
Yeah.
So crazy. That was your 11-2, right? So
Yep.
my 10 is USC, and like this is not a good 10. This is still a 6-6 10. It's just if I was being lazy, I would have tied USC and Michigan, and just like
That's
tied
fair.
them. Like I just think they're going to do the same thing. I don't have anything
fair.
else really to say about them, but it's just like they have enough. Like they're still going to have more talent than the teams below them. That like they're going to win some games just off the strength. Like they're probably going to go 3-0. Well, in most cases, I don't.
And the thing is though, like I get what you're saying, but I feel like they've had more talents in the past and could barely get 6 wins.
Yeah, I guess my thing is just like they got 6 last year, and I didn't think that was going to happen. So I'm no longer going to predict them to bottom out. I'm just not going to predict them to be good. So putting them at 10. I do think there'll be a step up of Michigan because they actually have people on the roster and Michigan doesn't. Fair. So like a part of my thing with USC here is everyone below them has a worse roster.
That's okay.
And most of them you could argue, even though I don't like Lincoln, you could argue also has a worse coach. So by the nature of that, they're probably going to win 6 games. And every team underneath, I could see winning less than 6 games. Not so much Michigan anymore, but we didn't look at the schedule. Like this is not our actual prediction.
Yeah.
Which if they still allow us to have this show and we do predictions in the fall, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with Michigan. So that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. I have no clue. I gotta look at USC's schedule because there's a good chance I look at that schedule. I'll go 5 at most. Like,
all right. Well, this is I promise is the last one we'll do, but it's USC, so it's fun. Let's look. Okay, USC. Is this the right year? Okay, so they have Missouri State, Georgia Southern, and Notre Dame and the non-con. So they're gonna have 2 wins in the beginning. So so their first 4 games is Missouri State, Georgia Southern, Purdue, Michigan State. They could start 4-0.
They could,
but here's the problem.
They could easily start 2-2 too.
They could. Here's the problem for them.
And it doesn't matter what team they lose to.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They then play Illinois bye week, Michigan, Notre Dame bye week, Nebraska. Nebraska's not the toughest, but Nebraska's going to be in that range. They could easily lose all 4 of those. They played Northwestern, an easy game to lose. They play Iowa, an easy game to lose. And then they play Oregon, which they will lose. And then they end with UCLA, which they could win 4 games. They could win like 3-4 games. Like, because like this schedule's hard. Like last year's schedule wasn't that hard. This is a hard schedule.
I'm trying to tell you.
Well, again, we didn't look at the schedule when we did this. So they will. I promise you, they will not be 10 when we're actually picking games because that's a tough schedule. Who is your 10?
My 10 is Wisconsin. I think. You said because you have Wisconsin under USC. I think Luke Fickell's a better coach than Lincoln Riley. I honestly do.
I think he's a much better coach. I just think his roster sucks, and it's his fault.
Yeah, but I think it is. But I think Wisconsin didn't do better. And we're not going to look at the schedule, but I think Wisconsin, that team, will do better in the Big Ten this year than USC will. And I I think they just edge out, like legit just edge out USC and Michigan. For me, not by much, but it's they just do it. They just do it. I think Wisconsin's going to be they're going to have a better record than those two schools. Because I just see USC losing games they shouldn't, and then boom. And now that we looked at their schedule, again they could start the season over 0-1 or 1-1, and you're like, see.
I do think they're guaranteed to start 3-0.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see them losing to Missouri State, Georgia Southern, or Purdue.
I don't see it either.
But
and
after that,
you say that, but then remember Spoiler Maker?
Yeah, and it's at Purdue.
Oh, see?
Well, Lincoln might get fired. My number 9 is Michigan State. We already talked about them a little bit, so I won't get stuck on them. I just think basically by putting them at 9, I'm saying they're going to go to a bowl game. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how I feel about them. I think they're going to go to a bowl game, and that's about the best I can say. I think the quarterback is talented. If he actually put in work, especially in decision making, they have a really good wide receiver. I cannot remember his name, but he was also a freshman. He's going to be top 4 wide receiver in the country. Like, he may be the best wide receiver. Not in the country, in the conference. He may be the best wide receiver that's not on Ohio State's roster. Mm-hmm. Again, I haven't gone through other rosters. I don't remember all the transfers, so I could be wrong. But like, Nick Cross is his name, maybe whatever his name is, whatever it is, the freshman. He may be the best wide receiver in the Big Ten that's not on Ohio State's roster. So it's just like between those two, the coach going in the second year, I'm a big fan of the coach. I just think like they're gonna make a bowl game. Like, that's sort of how
I understand
them, and that's about it.
That. My number 9 is Minnesota, and for that reason alone, I do think they make a bowl game. If from the people who've been fans of this podcast for a while now, y'all know how high I used to be on Minnesota, and I'm not gonna fall for that anymore. I'm not gonna fall for that anymore. I think Minnesota is a bowl team. I think Minnesota takes who was in the bowl game. So I think, like I said, I think Michigan can make a bowl game, but if they don't, Minnesota's the one that takes that spot from last year.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. I like I think for me it's just kind of like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna pick, unless it's just a really tough schedule, I don't know if I'm ever gonna pick Minnesota to not make a bowl game. But like you said, it's sort of hard. Like, it's hard. It's sort of hard.
They've had a history. I hope they got a new trainer, because they had a history of just injuries happening and things like that. So, I can see them winning 8 games and solidifying a bowl win. Do they win the bowl game? Depending on the opponent. And then even then, I say that, like, if I start watching the season, I could be like, no, they win that bowl game. They definitely win that bowl game. But yeah, that's my number 9.
Got you. My number 8 is Minnesota. Same thing. Mm-hmm. So,
my number 8 is Washington. I'm going off of what I saw last year. They were a very gritty, rough team, and they, like I said, besides Oregon, they're one of the teams that adapted to the Big Ten the most outside of Oregon, in my eyes. And I think they play Big Ten football, and that's why I think they're going to be better than what you have them. I think they can make a bowl game this year.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at that. It's just sort of, I didn't know where to put them.
I think they're a better coach team than people give them credit for. And that, I'm going off of what I saw last year, because they lost a lot of talent coming into this year and was either in games or winning games that you didn't think they were going to win or supposed to win. Because they gave Oregon I don't know. I don't remember if they played Oregon. I don't know, but I think they're going to be because I can't remember anything right now. But I do remember how gritty they were as a team, and that's just something that's a culture thing. So that's always going to be there as long as that coach is there. And I could see them winning a bowl game off of that alone, getting to the bowl.
I could see that for sure, and I wouldn't be against it. I don't have any like ill will against Washington. Where are we at? Number 7. My 7 is Nebraska.
Same.
Yeah, I just think like
it should be a up. You should be elevating now,
right?
Off of what you did last year,
and you got the monkey off your back. And again, Dylan Raiola is a really good quarterback. Like he is a really good quarterback. He was just a freshman. He doesn't have any identity, but he's a freshman. So like you have to predict that he gets better.
Oops.
And while I don't remember everything that they've done, I know that they've added to their roster. So I think that's safe.
Yeah.
This is like 8 wins.
Yeah.
Depending on schedule, it's like 8 wins.
You might even get 9 out of them, and you're like, "Ooh, where'd that come from?"
So 6 is the same. We both have Iowa.
That I can't. You can't at this point. At this point, you really can't. You can't fight the fact that Iowa's probably going to fight for 9 wins.
Yeah, like you can't. It's just like it's the opposite of USC.
Yep.
I'm not gonna predict you to not win 8-9 games until you show me you won't win 8-9 games.
9 games, because every single time I think you're
good last year,
and they won what 8-9 games last year.
Yeah, just like
so I can't ignore it anymore. I want that coach fired, but man, he's making it hard.
Yeah, and the other thing is like I don't know how far I'm going to go with it because I do think their defense has also been taking some steps back, so it sort of leaves them in the same position. But they're going to have the best quarterback that they've had. Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
The offense was putting up numbers last year where like we were getting confused. Like, what do you mean 30, 40 points?
Yeah, so like I think it puts them at the same level. It just looks different. But like they got that FCS quarterback who had like 5,000 passing yards and 2,000 rushing yards in his career or something, like 100-something touchdowns. Like he's a legit quarterback. And unless their system is just so bad they ruin him, he's going to be able to make a couple throws.
Yeah.
Like look, we're not going to talk about it on here, but I do want to look at it. I just need to make sure Iowa doesn't play Ohio State because I don't want to watch that game. They don't. Bless. Yeah. Oh, okay. Bless. Iowa. I'm telling you right now. I still think we would win, but like.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
I think you do too, but man.
Iowa is going to be the reason one of Penn State or Oregon doesn't go to the Big Ten championship game. Because they play both of them. One of them's getting screwed. Like,
I'm going with Oregon. I'm going with
one
Oregon.
One of them's getting screwed. Yeah.
I'm going with Oregon.
So that was both our 6. 5 for me is Indiana. Okay. We'll just talk about the next 2. My 5 is Indiana. My 5 is Indiana. My 4 is Illinois. You have them flipped.
Yep.
Is this just putting them at the same place, or do you think one is? Do you think Indiana?
I do actually think Indiana is going to be better. I think Indiana builds off of what they did last year. I don't see it much of a regression. I don't see 10 wins. Well, you know what? Maybe, but I think Indiana is hungry. You made it to the playoffs. You got that experience. I think they're hungry enough that they're definitely going to be a better team than Illinois, and they're going to feed off of what they did last year. At least they definitely should feed off of what they did last year.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Indiana is going to be good, but they did lose their quarterback. I think Illinois is like Illinois is sort of the reverse, although it's not transfer portal heavy. They're going to be like all seniors. Their quarterback's coming back. I like him. Luke Altmaier, he's a baller. Like, he's not great, but he's a baller. He's a very good college quarterback. I think they still have the running back, their defense. I think they brought – did they rehire Ryan Walters? I don't think he's the defensive coordinator. No, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But, like, they've been steadily building, and now they have the team full of seniors. And so, like, I think this is their 9-10 win year.
That's fair. I can see that.
And I just don't think Indiana takes that far of a step back. So like I have them in the same sort of place, but I think Indiana.
We both did agree that we think Illinois was going to do what Indiana did last year this year.
So basically, the thing is like if the Big Ten, I guess the separation that we're saying is basically if the Big Ten gets 4 teams in the playoffs again, I think the 4th is Illinois, and you think it's Indiana again, but still good teams.
Yeah.
We both have Oregon 3.
Yep.
Why do you not think they're going to repeat?
As Big Ten champions,
Yeah,
I
because
just
that's
don't think.
essentially what 3 means. Like,
Yeah, I don't think they're as talented as they were last year. And honestly, I think that you never know what a shellacking can do to you coming into a next season. Like you ended your season on a belt to ass.
yeah,
So I you never know how it could be motivating or it could be very detrimental. And like I don't think it's going to be that detrimental where like they just fall off a cliff. But the big games they have to play, it's going to look rough, and I think they might lose one or two of those games. And one of
yeah.
those games is like I said, I think they lose to Iowa. So
I could very easily see that.
yeah,
I think I agree with that. They're younger for
yep,
one.
yep,
They don't have the super senior quarterback for like the 3rd year in a row, and so
yep.
it's also hard for me to predict that like I hear the players talking about it, but no player talks bad about their quarterback. And I think that Dante Moore is talented. That's the guy who's most likely going to start, but I haven't seen it. Right, they're going to be relying on a lot of freshmen at corner and wide
Dante
receiver.
Moore didn't he play somewhere else?
He was at USC. It was at 9. I don't. He transferred from somewhere.
He had to, yeah. Because that name, I was about to say that
No, I
name
think
is
he was
very
at
familiar.
UCLA. He started half the year, got benched, transferred last year, sat on the bench, and then came
Yeah,
this year.
yeah. I was
So
about to
he
say I
has
know
some
that
starting
name. I've heard that
experience,
name.
but the
Yeah.
last time we saw it, he was bad. So
Again, new environment can be better for a lot of people, so you never know.
I
But
agree.
yeah,
I
I
just,
mean,
I just,
again, better coaching at Oregon than it is at
yes,
UCLA
yes,
at that
and he
time.
sat a year. He sat a year,
Hmm.
which helps.
Yeah, so you got the
Um,
yeah, oh yeah, that does help.
And they do have good players. Mateo Uyunglele is probably gonna be a 1st round pick. He's solid, but they lost 2 pass rushers. They lost Jordan Burch, their other 10 sack guy, and they lost Derek Harmon, who was a dog up the middle. He's gonna be
Hmm.
a 1st round pick. So it's like, and they're gonna be relying on a lot of freshmen on both the wide receivers and the corners. And here's the thing: nobody's going to be Jeremiah Smith, but they have a guy who like people's like he's really really good. Like he's going to start as a freshman. That's fine. But the thing that I think is underrated with Jeremiah Smith, like yes, he was one of one, but he had so much senior leadership around him that
Yeah,
it sort of also like got rid of some of the freshman mistakes. And then also Geno Smith is his cousin. So like it's not like talent is not the only thing that separates Jeremiah
hmm,
Smith. So even if this wide receiver, I think his name is DeCorian Moore, even if he is an instant starter, I still think there's going to be a difference because you don't have the NFL pedigree, you don't have the senior leadership. Like there's just a
yeah,
couple
yeah,
pieces. Like if Jeremiah was doing like if Jeremiah ran a wrong route, which I don't know that he did, but he may have, and he did make a couple mistakes. He fumbled a couple of times. He did some
yeah,
things. Will Howard, as the 5th year senior, could be like, "Hey, get it together." Emeka Abuka, as the 4th year senior, future 1st round pick, could tell him to get it together. Like you had leadership in the room. So what yes, he was ultimately the best player, but he wasn't the leader. He could
yeah,
just play. He could be a freshman, and then his otherworldly talents. Like, I don't know that that's going to be the same for this guy because it's just a different room. So again, even if he's good, he
I
may
would say
be.
you do have Dante Moore, who's what he's a senior.
He's a
If
junior, I
he's
think.
a junior, that
Yeah,
is experience because he has starting experience and then he
right.
was on the team and learn the schemes and things like that. So there's it's not as much as Smith has, but
Right.
there is going to be some there. But I get what you're saying. I do get
I
what you're
still think
saying.
he's going to be good. I'm putting him
Yeah.
at like if I had to put it, he's 900 yards. Like if Dante Moore can throw, I
Hmm.
think the more connection is going to put him 900 yards. But like
Yeah.
it's just again we have him 3rd. We're not saying they're going to be bad, but like
Yeah.
I don't know that they're going to have won the Big Ten. So
Yeah.
and then our 1 and 2 is flipped. I have Penn State 2 and Ohio State 1. You have Penn State 1, Ohio State 2. This
Hmm.
is very simple for me. 1, Ohio State didn't lose as much as people thought, and 2, I like James Franklin more than most, but I don't see him winning the Big Ten. Too much expectation.
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from. I think my thing is that if it doesn't happen this year, it's not.
And I don't
So
think it's gonna happen. So
yeah,
like,
I
I
think he
just
can. I have more faith. I get where I have a little more faith than you do, but I understand where you're coming from. I do understand where you're coming from. But like this you're pretty much at this point in how I'm looking at it and why I have Penn State 1 is that You played in the Big Ten championship game last year, and you played well. You were in that game most of the game, and then you made the playoffs. I think you're pretty much following in the footsteps of Michigan and Ohio State the past 2 years. So this is your turn, and I'm thinking like legit, this is your turn, and that's why I have them winning it because I think Penn State could have won the Big Ten last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it happens this year. I think what we saw what happened with Ryan Day. I think it finally clicks for James Franklin. I hope it does. That's what I think it finally clicks for him. Especially like it happened with Jim, and then it happened with Ryan Day. So I think I could see it happening again 3 times in a row for a different team.
Yeah,
Different school.
I don't like State College per se, but I have no problems with Penn State. I don't have any problems with James Franklin. I would not be mad at all. It's just a hard thing for me to predict.
Yeah.
And you can also say some of it's a little bit fan brain, but fan brain also helps because like more than people who don't like actually study it, I do know what's on Ohio State's roster, and I don't think that they're going to take the fall off that people think they are. I also think that we play this like mind game sort of thing a lot. I think it's going to be real hard for Ryan Day to win a national championship and then lose the Big Ten for a 5th year in a row. I'm not saying that they're going to go back to back. I'm not saying that, but I also think the things that he learned in this championship run, I do think still propel him. And because James Franklin, I honestly,
I was going to say, I think the same thing. Like he learned a lot. They both learned in their playoff run because both had deep playoff runs.
Yes.
So, it's a toss up, but I'm going with Penn State because it should be Penn State this year.
I don't, and that's the thing. I don't think you're wrong for picking them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just. You're right. It should be Penn State. Like, and Penn State should have the expectations, and they should be national championship.
They should have the expectation on themselves, and I get why you're saying like James. It's too much for James Franklin, but at this point, especially of what you just done and what you're bringing back, you should have that expectation on yourself.
Yes.
Don't let it eat you, but you should have it on. Like I should be winning the Big Ten this
like
year.
that. Like,
I should be competing for a national championship.
And anything less is a like, and this is the thing that people don't understand. You want to be Ohio State, this is what it means. If you don't win the Big Ten, your season was a failure.
Yeah, and you have to do it. And my thing is at this point, because I also think what we saw last year in the USC game, Oregon game, and even in the playoffs, you could tell that not only did the team want it, I started to see it from the coaching and the play calling and things like that. So I even think now James Franklin wants it. I don't think he's fully afraid of the moment anymore. And I was seeing it early on too. Like remember, I want to say 2 years ago when they played Ohio State, they had that game won until he decided to blitz. That one play did it. But they had that game won pretty much the whole time until he decided to blitz. So I think it happens. I think it happens this year.
I can't say I hope it happens because obviously I want Ohio State to win. Yeah. But like outside of Ohio State, I'd be totally fine with it. Like I'd be totally fine with it. Now, don't hold me to that. If they play Ohio State and they beat them, like I'm not gonna be that fine. But like deep down, I'll be fine with it. It's like one of those things. Like if not us, then who? Right? I'd be fine with them. So that's it. That's our power rankings. 18-1. That takes forever because there's 18. Let's wrap this up. We'll get into our pit stops. As always, our pit stops is our time to take a break. This is when we, pit stop. You're on a road trip. You can use the bathroom. You get gas. You stretch your legs. I'm stretching my legs a little bit on this one. I won't do a full review. I just didn't know how to put it. I don't know why I'm explaining this. Like people can see the thing. I just want to talk about the movie Casino. So I love movies. Like I think I've talked about it. I talk about movies on here occasionally. I love movies, and I've started to do this thing again where it's just like because of this is one of the good things of streaming. I love specifically to watch movies from like 85 to 2005.
Okay.
I just think that like it's before and like again, I don't think the old everything in the old days is the best and all these other kind of things. But like one, the actors were really acting for real, and two, it's before you lost some small pieces of the movie due to special effects.
Mhm.
So like they just really had to do it, and also I feel like more then than now, you just got like multiple heavyweights in a movie that you just don't always get now because there's
I
like more
understand. Yeah, I
movies.
get where you're coming
And
from.
so long story short, I watched the movie Casino. I don't remember if it's the first time I watched it or not, but it was just a really good movie. It essentially was about like two best friends who were trying to make their name in Las Vegas with the casino, and it had like mob ties because we all know that the mob created Las Vegas. If you didn't know
Yeah,
that, welcome to your history lesson. So essentially, it's two guys. One is a mafia enforcer who wants fame and wants to like run a town, and the other
okay.
one is a casino executive, a guy who's just like really smart. And so it's basically about their rise and then their kind of demise, right? That's basically the thing of just like how they grew up, and then the things that they were doing, and their name being intertwined, and uh, you know, obviously, as in real life, the police wanted the mob, so there's crime and there's police and there's it's just I thought it was a really good movie. And I think one of the cool things that they do. So the main characters are Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci,
Hmm.
and so they like both narrate the movie, so like they narrate and like talk about each other in the movie, but then they also narrate like some of their scenes, so it's not like shot from like one point of view, which was cool. And I mean, it's Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci, like
Right.
it, and it's a Martin Scorsese movie, like it's a good movie. Like
It's gonna be a good one.
so
Yeah.
that's all it's
I think I've
I
seen Casino. I can't fully remember, but I think I have seen
yeah,
it before.
I think I'd seen it too. It's just been a while,
Hmm.
but it's on Peacock if you want to watch something. It's a
Oh,
really good
I
movie.
have.
It's
I have
long,
Peacock.
very long, as I feel like every Martin Scorsese movie is
Yeah,
long.
I,
But
I I was about to say I don't think there's a single Martin Scorsese movie that isn't. So yeah.
yeah, it's a good movie. So that's
Yeah.
my pit stop.
My pit stop. We're definitely going off the doing some breaks on this one because my pit stop. It's gonna be quick, but I've grown to realize that I can't sit for long tattoo sessions anymore. I don't think I have. It's not about. I think I just gotten too old to be able to sit down that long. This last tattoo I got lasted. The tattooing. I was there for 6.5, but the tattooing itself that was getting done took 5.5 hours. And by hour three, I was like, I'm sick of this. And usually I can just ignore it or even fall asleep. But this time I was just like, I am legit annoyed. I was getting annoyed. I don't know if it was the type of tattoo I got because there's a lot of this was mostly shading, and that's the one thing I hate the most about tattoos. And I think a lot of people hate shading the most. But I was legit pissed. I was getting mad. And like I had to keep lying to my artist because he's like, "You good?" And I was like, "Yeah, technically." I'm like, "The pain's not that bad, but I'm just kind of annoyed. I'm still here." Because now it turned to like 11 p.m. at night, and I was getting sleepy. I was hungry, and I'm like, how are you not done? So hey, that's my best stop. I gotta split it into sessions. 2 hours, 2 hour sessions from now on.
Yeah, that's insane. I got
Mhm.
to get in and get out, but I do understand like
I wanted to
that
get
being
it.
too long. I did
Yeah,
for me. I just I don't want to keep going back, so I would rather just do it. But
yeah.
I
That's why
definitely
I was like, just get it done, do it. But yeah, that's
yeah.
exactly how I felt. Because I did the way it went through my head. I was like, I really don't want to come back.
Yeah,
I want this done
but
because he asked me. He was like, "Could you come back tomorrow?" I was like, "No." I was like, I actually can't come back tomorrow because I'm busy.
it's like finish it. Yeah.
Like, let's get this over with.
I need a tattoo so bad. Hopefully, I'll get one for Christmas when we because we're
Christmas.
so yeah. So I'm not gonna get into my finances here, but
Hmm.
I would just say this: for various reasons, you'll probably see me a couple of times this summer,
Hmm.
and going back home is expensive.
Yeah,
So I probably won't be spending a lot of money this summer outside of like going back home.
yeah.
So Yeah, I think that's what I want my Christmas present to be.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I
So
yeah, I want to do at least one more. I know I can afford one more, and it won't be that much because it's just a Roman numeral and
yeah.
some lettering, so it won't be that bad. But the other one that I want to try to get, because I was like, I can get three, is my chess piece to get
Mhm.
started, because it's definitely going to be a start. I'm not sitting there the whole time.
Yeah.
It's going to be a start.
Yeah. I think my problem is I just don't have any small tattoos right now.
Yeah.
So like I like for me it's gonna be somewhere between $400 and like $800. Like I don't have like a quick little 150. This is gonna take like an hour, 45 minutes. If I come up with something, I'll probably do it. But as of right now, the things that I'm looking at are like finishing my leg sleeve, like doing
Mhm.
like big stuff. And so like for that, like I'm not gonna come home in the summer and then also drop $800 on a tattoo.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's not how I'm trying to spend my summer. I would like to eat for I know I know I know that may be a surprise, but I don't want to drop a stack to get home and then another stack on a tattoo and then be back in New York like
I don't know what to do. I'm hungry. Yeah, no. It's
no.
either it's either start the chest or unfortunate fuckingly do
Oh
something in
yeah.
here.
That one's tough. I already got those.
I
I got
mean,
those.
I got
I got
this.
those. Yeah, I got that
This
when I was young and I'm supposed to finish it and I'm like eh, I think it's all right because there's not really no shading on mine. For those of you who
see,
can't see, where
bruh,
yeah,
this
I
is all
know,
shading. It's like,
which is why good luck getting it done again. I just got Roman numerals inside mine, and I'm like, you know what?
I bet you, I
I'm all
get
right.
some I get some BS, and you can finish the clouds a little bit in here, but then this would probably be mostly outline of something.
Yeah,
I'm
weak.
not. You're not killing me anymore. I'm not doing this.
I'm
And
weak.
even then, I'll probably do in 2 sessions.
Fair
Unfortunately.
enough. Fair enough. But all right, y'all. As always, thank you for listening. We will be back next week, and so spring games are not next week. I
If
don't know.
there
It doesn't
are
matter.
any,
Yeah. We'll be back next week. There'll hopefully be some more football to talk about, and we're getting closer to the draft. We'll see you. Thanks for listening.
true, true.